Welcome to the Kane and Reloaded show. This is your boy 305 Kane.
And it's your boy DJ Reloaded.
Before we get started, we need y'all to like, subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified when we go live. Join the Kane and Reloaded team. Become a member of the squad.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
tonight's topic, we're going to talk about a viral video that went down of another white lady. I'm gonna just say Caucasian lady called called the police on some black teens having a kickback get together in her apartment building or condo, whatever. It was an Airbnb and that they were paying for. They was having a little party, a little kickback. It was around about 3 o'clock in the morning, and she ended up calling the police on her. DJ Reload, how do you feel about that?
Um, I mean, we talked about it off camera. I feel like both parties have blame for it, right? And I'm gonna address it. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna share how you feel about the situation. Um, One, I felt like at 3 o'clock in the morning, you jamming out music loudly. Later, from the looks of the video, looked like she was on the first floor. Um, that's the only fault I see with the teens. I think they was having a good time. They probably wasn't thinking about the time or people going to sleep around them, but they was having a good time. I mean, in this situation, what we're going through all around the world, kids are finding, trying to discover different ways to live and have fun. So I understand the kids and I get that. Now with the lady who had the issue with the kids, I was kind of disturbed with how she approached the situation and and how she was handling the situation. I felt like just listening to the kids, I felt like the kids would have been cool enough if she would have knocked on the door and asked them to turn the music down. I don't think they would have had a problem with looking out for her based on the dialogue and the back and forth of the conversation in the video. I think she escalated the situation and she continued to push that envelope. But again, in my eyes, I see fault in both parties.
Well, only thing I can disagree with DJ Reloaded is so I don't find fault in the kids at all. In these times, like he said, that's that's something normal, especially when you can't get out and go do anything, and all you can do is quarantine or get together in small groups at your house or wherever you want to get together at. With that being said, I can't look at them kids and say they was doing anything wrong. If I'm going to say in retrospective that if the lady would approach them differently, they would have been cool about it. So I can't see them being in wrong if they was never given a chance to prove that they was respectful or they would have, obliged or turn the music down and chilled out a little bit or calm down because it is late in the morning. And when I listen to the video and I hear the kids, they wasn't cursing her out. They wasn't being outraged. They wasn't being nasty to her. She was coming with all of the attitude and the power of I'm going to get y'all up out of here. She was
Right.
coming with that mentality. And when I see her that upset at kids that's not even poking at her to make her that upset, it makes me feel that this was not started at 3 o'clock that morning. It makes me feel like this started beforehand, that these kids was already giving her a bad look in her eyes and she didn't want them to be around her. She felt unsafe in some kind of way because that's the reason she wanted to come at them like that. I feel it's because she feared them kids for no dang on reason.
I don't think that she feared them kids based off her demeanor watching the
Yeah.
video. I think it was just more or less a situation. She just truly wanted to get some sleep. And you wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, like I was telling you. I have a home girl, great person. She's an entrepreneur. She's doing her thing. She ran into the same situation, similar situation, and she put a story out there on Facebook. I told her, yo, look, next time call the cops. And the reason I'm telling her this because the increase on violence on women is going up during this situation and this hard time that we're going through in America. So I'm looking out for her safety and just how brilliant she is of an individual. I would hate for anything to happen to her, to her. So I'm telling her, hey, handle it in a different way rather than handling it in an aggressive way. Because even at that point, you can technically say she was that white lady, and the roles is probably a little bit reversed. So it's ways I see you can handle it. You can knock on somebody's door and ask politely to turn it down. If that doesn't happen, call the authorities. But with this situation, I'm glad the end result, nothing really happened or came about the situation. Police arrived based upon a Twitter account. The young men explained that the police were pretty cool. Police said that they always get phone calls like this. So it's either that, hey, if that's the norm in that area, maybe the lady may need to look at relocating and moving.
So let me ask you a question. Your friend who went through the similar situation, what floor was she on?
I mean, I ain't get into all them type of details.
Because the reason being I asked you that, if I'm on the third floor and this person is on the first floor,
okay,
they're not directly underneath me, how can they be the one affected more than anybody else around me?
It all depends on how, what kind of system they have and how loud they have it.
You will have to have real speakers in order for the person 2 floors down to be disturbed. I feel that lady, it was not most likely them kids was using a little pill speaker. They was using a little, they wasn't using no studio setup and doing all of that, because guess what? Even when she was calling the police, you didn't even hear no music on. And she was still saying, I could still hear the music from here. I couldn't hear the music from where they was at.
Yeah, so basically, even they saying she went to the door, banging on the door real loud.
Did it look like she was
banging?
They
turned it down. So they turned the music down. Then she came back again, but she started being racist and rude. So again, so basically what I'm saying is even though she was being rude when she banged on the door to get their attention, they complied. They turned the music down, but she came back. And this is where I have the issue with her and how she handled the situation. Even if you're pissed off, hey man, let that frustration out another way, because she could have knocked on the right door at that particular night and found the energy she was looking for, and it would have went a whole nother way that it didn't have to go.
Right. If them kids would have been some kids that grew up in my neighborhood, that lady would have had a whole lot of problems. A whole lot of problems. I'm just being real, because the kids that grew up in my neighborhood, and I'm not saying nothing about those kids, and I'm glad those kids did handle it in that situation like that. But I know the people that was in my neighborhood, and I know what would have happened in that situation, especially her being of the opposite race.
Like again, I mean, again, like just as you read and you dig into the story, you realize, again, the young man put statements out there, and this is what he said. An hour later, Jones says he went to get some food, and the confrontation in the video occurred, in spite the fact that they had turned down the music. So that's the reason why you didn't hear the music in the video, but they complied and not trying to be rude. She was already in a funky spot, and she wanted to pass on that energy the best way she could. And I think the young men handled the situation beautifully. Like I said again, they realized, okay, oh snap, we got music up loud, we got somebody upset, we don't want no trouble. Let's turn it down, let's be cool. So everything I've said that they did, they must have done, but she wanted them to react to that energy that she was putting off. I love the way that they handled the situation. They kept their cool, they kept their composure, they was actually having a good time with it. She wasn't afraid of them, but She, she was definitely trying to
Antagonize him.
right, like she ran up on him. She tried to push one out the door. And I love how they handled the situation. I love it.
That's facts.
They handled it like men.
And that's my point in the whole situation. I can't hold them kids at no fault because they took care. I was making a mistake. I corrected my mistake, but then now you trying to push me over that limit to get me to react to you and your attitude. But them kids handled it perfect. They showed that some young black teens can still be respectful without out here trying to prove themselves to be gangster and all of that without looking soft or anything like that. They handled themselves the right way. They didn't have to take themselves down to, bowing down to her or nothing like that.
Right,
and they got out this situation unscathed. And that's what a lot of our teens, that's why I brought up the kids on my block. A lot of these teens need to take notes because you can get out of a lot of these situations that put you in a sticky situation if you took notes.
Right. I mean, like I said, I agree with everything you just said. I applaud the young men for showing class. That adult can learn a lot from the young men.
Right. That's a fact.
That was a teachable moment. And that was, again, I love the way that they avoided her energy. People don't understand how energy transfer and how you may give off that negativity to somebody, and then that's going to impact somebody down the road as well. So the fact that they handled it so beautifully, I applaud them young men.
You get an applaud and a salute.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, we like to big up all of the youth that's out here that's doing the right thing and trying to do the right thing. Of course, people may say, "Oh, they was out there partying and they ain't doing the right thing." No, they was chilling. They tried to be respectful. Oh, I was making a mistake, like DJ Reloaded said. Put their hands up. You got it. My bad. And people tried to push a situation on them that they did not bite on in full. And I totally salute that. And the Kane and Reloaded show love that. We love to show y'all situations like that, just to show y'all everybody not out here thugging and killing and shooting and beating and all that. Look at these young men; they just chilling.
I mean, I agree with everything you said.
With that being said, we need y'all to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get notified whenever we go live. It don't cost you a thing to hit that subscription. It don't cost you nothing to share this video and let everybody else know about this story and how the Kane and Reloaded feel about this story.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, peace and love, family.
Peace and love, fam.